Welcome, pilot, to another Hunternet update video. This is Fernando Z, developer of Hunternet. And in this mini update video, I'm going to be talking about what I've been working on since completing the Hunternet Asteroid Mining update. My last main update video, I showcased the work in progress of Asteroid Mining. That has now been completed. I've also released since then a Hunternet Academy video lesson that goes into great detail on how asteroid mining works in Hunternet. So if you're interested in details on asteroid mining and how that turned out, or would like to improve your mining skills in the game, I highly recommend watching that video, and I'll include a link to it in the comments below. But since then, I've moved on to working on carrier travel updates, as I have a goal to try to get us to a working version of the mine, build, conquer loop in the Hunternet test universe. And now that we have asteroid mining working, the next step that's missing is these carriers need to be updated so they can use the jump gate network in the open world, so that the resources you mine can be taken from point A to point B, and they can be part of the logistics systems in Hunternet, right? So I've begun work on upgrading the carriers. It's still a work in progress, but the main goal is to get them ready for testing the first version of the Hunternet war economy, and that'll be the next area of focus after this set of updates are done. But I wanted to show you a few things that I've been working on, so that our backers or people who follow us on YouTube, have an idea of where the game is right now. One feature I recently added with these carriers is that if you go to a location, I'm on a wargame server right now, and you turn on extra carriers, when the mission starts, your ship will be stowed inside of the carrier, and you'll actually arrive inside the carrier as it full burns until they reach their location. And you actually can launch from those carriers as they're decelerating at any time, and inherit that speed. And they come in at 7 kilometers per second. So let me show you how that looks like. So I'm gonna force a break and restart the mission. And now we're coming in hot. Carriers are burning really hard to slow down. They're going multiple kilometers per second. This is the flyby camera. I'm going to switch to one of the carrier camera views. You can see I'm going over 5 kilometers per second. Switch to a rear view. You can see that we're approaching the asteroid field and the jump gate. And now that there's support for your ship getting stowed inside the carrier at the mission start, you can take this time to refit your ship and decide when you want to launch. And anytime you want to launch, you can press fire 1 to launch, and you will inherit whatever speed the carrier currently has. I do recommend checking the launch bay to make sure it's clear that nobody else is launching or arriving, so to avoid just a lower likelihood of you running into somebody. So I'm gonna go ahead and launch. Follow my own advice here, and here we go. Launching at a nice 178 meters per second. Another feature that has been added to these carriers is we tested, I should say, this new simple supply game mode that I implemented. And in this game mode, the focus is on mining. So it's a game mode where you have unlimited amount of time to try and destroy the enemy carriers before they do the same to you. But in order to destroy the carriers, you first have to mine in order to be able to produce the ships, the fighters, the bombers, and the torpedoes necessary to take the fight to the enemy. And during that testing, we noticed that if your carrier was unmanned, that it was much easier for the enemy to attack. So I implemented this feature to allow you to remotely pilot the carrier. And let me show that off. To do that, first you need to deploy your gear, and then press the jump protocol button. By default, that's going to be J. And now you can see I'm commanding this carrier, commanding Artemis R. I can immediately start flying around. So if there's any torpedoes that were incoming, or if my turrets were under attack and I wanted to make it significantly harder to attack carrier that's on the go, or maybe I want to regroup and get closer to another carrier so we can shield each other or fly towards the fighters, then this allows me to do this very quickly. Now, keep in mind, while you're controlling the carrier, your fighter is still out there and it's completely vulnerable. There are no safe zones in Hunternet. So, but you can switch over. And let's see, I still have control of the carrier. So this carrier is seeing in the distance is being commanded by me, I'll do a power burn right now, right? But I can only control one vehicle at a time. So if I notice that my carrier is now safe or I need trouble, I can simply press the jump protocol button again, and switch controls from the carrier back to my ship, and I can go fly towards the carrier and dock with it or what have you. So very handy feature. It's going to be extremely handy in the open world as well, because as you all know, the open world is running 24/7. Your carriers are always out there. The logistics systems are always vulnerable to enemy attack. But this way, if you notice that a carrier is under attack, you can quickly get to that location, and if you don't have time to fly up to it and dock to it, at least you can remote pilot it, and that should buy you the time you need to defend the carrier more effectively. Also means that if you're traveling by yourself, you can technically pilot 2 ships pretty effectively. So it's a very cool feature. For those of you who have access to the game, I want to set out a little challenge. I want to see how fast you're able to dock on a carrier as it's flying multiple kilometers per second through the sky. And you're able to tell how quickly you can do that by looking at the 3D HUD. So that's another change that I did. The HUD used to be, in screen space would be, on the clocks would be in the lower right corner of your screen, but now it's integrated into 3D space, so it's part of your cockpit. Something the VR HUD always had, but I implemented a refined version of that, and I made it available in flat mode as well. It's a really cool feature. It allows you to zoom in on parts of the HUD, and just looks much cooler, and it keeps the very clean look that Hunternet is going for. So yeah, the second clock, the first clock is your sortie clock, the second clock is your mission clock. So once I'm going to restart the mission, and I'm going to attempt to land on these carriers as quickly as possible, and we'll see how many seconds it takes me. You guys who have access to the game, look back, see if you can beat my record. Here we go. I'm going to force a break, and I'm forced to start. Carriers are coming in. I'm going to wait until I'm not blacking out, and I'm going to launch. I'm going 6 kilometers per second. And the carriers are constantly slowing. I'm going to deploy my gear. There we go. Gear extended. I'm going to burn hard. Line up. Hit the deck. Oh, and I went too fast. So, this is a walk of shame. Oh, I'm going to let the carrier go. I failed. You can try this again. So, if you failed like I did, force refit, mission start. Let's do it again. I swear, I always fly worse when I'm recording these videos. Deploy my gear. Burn hard, line up with the field, try to get a little bit of downward force. There we go, hit the brakes. Come on, and I made it. 22 seconds, I believe, yeah. So yeah, so give that a try. Anytime you can undock. And see, I'm going over 2 kilometers per second. See if you can beat my time. Even cooler if you have friends, try hitching a ride on a carrier together and launching and trying to land simultaneously, or as close to simultaneous as possible. I'd love to see how you guys do, and you can beat my time. But that's going to be it for this video. I know it's a bit of a short video. I'm still in the process of doing these carrier updates, and I want to get the carrier updates done as quickly as possible. I'll do a longer, more in-depth video once this carrier travel update is done, and I'll make sure to record some really cool footage for that, so that content creators that follow us have something cool to use in their own videos. But that's it for today's update, pilots. If you're interested in Hunternet, I recommend wishlisting the game on Steam. On the Steam forums, you can also see a more detailed devlog for those who are interested in more on the details of development as it goes. And if you want to get access to the current builds, you can back us on Indiegogo or on our website at hunternet.gg. So good hunting, pilots, and see you in the next update.